Jen and welcome back to my channel. Those of you who are new to my channel, I wanted to quickly run you guys down. I'm Jen. I was born and raised in Australia, but my parents are Korean, and my husband and I moved to Korea like 7 years ago, thinking that we'll be here for 2 years, but now we're here for 7 years and we have a child. And last year we had a beautiful baby, Leo. The reason why I'm saying this is because today's video is going to be obviously for my new viewers as well, but for my like OG Muse fan, long-time friends online whom I may not have ever met, or maybe I've met you guys at some fan meetings in the past. I have no idea, but I know that a lot of you guys have been with me for a really long time. And you know, to be honest, I've been here on YouTube for like 10 years and I feel like you guys have seen me go through a lot of changes, but I haven't done a proper sit down, catch up, heart to heart with you guys recently, especially after moving to Korea and having a lot of things happen. And of course, after becoming a mum as well, I've been doing a lot of like pregnancy videos, but it's more like sharing what happened with my pregnancy, giving birth, but I haven't updated you guys about Jen, like how I am doing, how I'm feeling. And also like as an expat, someone who thought I was Australian all my life, then coming to Korea and living here for so long, thought I would kind of like share with you guys how things have been. But not just that, guys, I actually have, drum roll, a really exciting announcement to make in this video. It's not the official announcement, but I really could not hold back any longer. I couldn't restrain myself. And I know that a lot of you guys are gonna love it. Personally, I think this is the biggest announcement that I've ever made on my channel. There have been a lot of things that we've gone through together, and you guys have witnessed me growing and evolving and just going through a lot of life hurdles. But I feel like a few years back when I started to go through a bit of a burnout here in Korea with like the K-beauty oversaturation, feeling like just really lost and burnt out from the materialism of the beauty world. And you guys know when I went through that period when I was like, I'm not sure if I even want to stay in like the beauty space anymore, because I don't know, I felt like it wasn't like really where I belonged. But of course that's completely different now. Like I still love beauty, but I realized that I was just kind of surrounded by like the wrong people and whatnot. It's really important for me. I'm like a blank slate, so the people around me, I catch the vibes really easily. Although after becoming a mom, I'm rambling already, but I don't do that so much anymore. So to be honest, a few years back, I had the most difficult time of my life. It was so personal and so private and so deep that I really couldn't share it with you guys. And from that moment, because all my YouTube life, I shared everything with you guys. And I think when you're younger, it's easier to do that. But like as you get older, the things you go through just become deeper and like heavier, and you don't want to burden people with it. So you kind of start to decide not to share those things, because what's the point of like burdening other people with such heavy stuff? I'm not sure if it's to do with aging, to be honest. Everyone goes through hardships in their life. But yeah, I felt like I went through something that I couldn't share with you. And from that moment, I started to not be able to feel like 100% transparent with you guys because of that one little thing that I couldn't really share. Yeah, I think from then, and then I had a baby, and of course I did like pregnancy updates and stuff, but that was just going through what I went through and how the process was of my physical body and everything. But it wasn't like a real update of like Jen. The Jen that you guys saw back in Sydney when I used to film in my toilet with the lights and everything. So for those old muses, you guys know that when we first moved to Korea, we thought we'd only be here for like 2 years and we were probably going to move back. That's why we left Cooper back in Australia with our friend, because we thought we were going to go back and get Cooper back from her. And obviously the laws for like animals, okay, I'm not even going to get into that. Stop, Jen. So actually when I moved from Australia to Korea, I brought all my teaching books because I thought that I would automatically just like teach here. But as you guys know, the first like week that I arrived in Korea, I got scouted when I was at a nail salon and I found myself on live TV as a TV reporter like in a couple of days with no training. I was just like dumped into the deep end, and that's where the whole journey began. I worked as a TV reporter for 1 year on a daily morning news show called Curated on Arirang TV, which was an English broadcasting station, and that gave me a lot of experience on TV, a different kind of medium of broadcasting that was different from like sitting in front of my own camera at home. And also I got to meet a lot of amazing fashion designers behind the scenes at beauty expos, K-beauty brands, meeting people, interviewing, and I did a lot of fun things that was fun on camera, but it was really challenging behind the scenes. So yeah, I'm only sharing that because I want any new people, or also OG Muse fan people who I probably have not shared this with as well, to know that I never actually wanted to become a TV reporter. I never applied for it. Even my TV show that I had with Discovery Channel, which was amazing, like I still don't even know how I ended up having my own TV show. It was such an honor, it was so fun. But yeah, I get a lot of people saying like, this is, of course, it's the people who are not really my fan. I've had a lot of people over the years saying, Jen, you just like went to Korea because you just want to become famous or something. But really, to be honest, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. As a Christian, I always struggled with it because I was asking God, why did you put me in this industry? I don't think I'm made for it. I know it sounds like a complaint. It sounds very ungrateful, but that's really how challenging it was at many times, not just in the TV industry, which was very, very challenging for me. And yes, I never asked for it, but I just found myself in it one day, and although I was very grateful for it, literally like it was not what I wanted. I never have been someone who's about like glitz and glam in front of the camera. I hate fakery in general, and the whole industry, of course, media is pretty much like a show, and I just really didn't like that aspect of my job, like that everything is fake, it's a show, and I couldn't be real and honest with you guys because the producers are like telling me to act a certain way, and there's always like a hidden agenda and a message behind everything. So those kind of things, it like really didn't hit the right chord for me. And also I just always felt like as a perfectionist, I wasn't good enough for it. So I also contemplated going into like drama school here in Korea to up my acting game a little, because I found one day that I'm actually pretty much just acting. Like that was my job. Anyway, so that's for TV. And for K-beauty industry, when I first started my channel, I wanted to talk about K-beauty because no one was talking about K-beauty online. Like 10 years ago, I went on like trips back to Korea, and I loved doing like shopping at Myeongdong and Namdaemun Sijang, Duta, and I did like all night shopping all the time, and it was so fun. I came back with tons of Korean product. It was so new at the time. It was so cheap. It was really fun, and the products were so nice. The shades suited my skin so well. So I wanted to like share it with you guys online. It was a very new thing back then, and that was pretty much the reason why I wanted to make videos. I just wanted to share things because literally back then there was no one that was doing makeup catered for like hooded mono lids or hooded double eyelids. All the makeup artists that I came across in person and also online, they were all just catering towards one type of eye style. Even the Asians were also. So I kind of just was like testing things out on my own features and figured out like that if I do an eyeliner a certain way and gradient it out, I'm using this brush and using this product, it works the best. And that was literally like my first video ever, doing like a favorites video, and that was the pure sort of motive, and it was just fun, like the whole process of filming and creating. And although I was studying at university for a whole different like genre altogether, primary school teaching, and I also became a primary school teacher, it always like was my side thing because I really loved it. It was my passion project, you know. Back then, no one was famous from YouTube. I remember like when I started, it was like Kev Jamba and Nigahiga, but the only people who watched YouTube knew them, and that was like a really small amount of people back then. So anyways, that's how I started. And then when I came to Korea, as I said before, I just kind of got launched into the TV industry, and I learned a lot from it. So really, I'm very grateful, but I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I was ugly on camera. My face was never photogenic, cameragenic kind of face. I had a lot of like face fat. Right now, I've lost a lot of face fat from partly as you age, you kind of just lose that like baby fat. Yeah, that was also one of the things. Like my body type, I've always been on the underweight to skinnier side, but my face was always swollen, or I had a lot of cheek fat, or my eyes were puffy. You know, on camera, it's pretty much the face that matters. So all my life, all my like Korean life, being in Korea and working in the media industry, I felt like it was like really unfair, and I was always asking God, if you're gonna put me in this industry, why didn't you just give me less face fat or like a normal regular person? Like, so it's not so stressful for me. Other people didn't have to worry about it. They might just like gain a little bit of weight, but their face wouldn't gain any weight at all, and that's what shows on camera. You know, to me, it was like completely the opposite. No matter how like skinny or how much I worked out, my face would be the place that caused me the most stress, which is why I like really delved into facial massages and lymphatic massages. What I'm trying to say is I had to put in like 10 times more work to look like just like a regular person. Another thing was, as you guys know, being in Korea, even now, 7 years on, I've definitely become a lot more Korean in terms of understanding the Korean culture, being able to speak Korean pretty well now. I was always able to speak Korean, but it became a lot more natural after coming here and working with a lot of Korean people and stuff. As a Western raised person, I love to just brainstorm things and discuss things and throw things out, but not out of any intention. But in Korea, everything that is said is very intentional and has a message behind it. And so I find that when I'm simply just sharing something or pondering about something, if I share that, it's taken the wrong way. And I found that the more I speak and share, the more it gets misunderstood. So I remember just like a few years in, or maybe just like 1 or 2 years into coming into Korea, I started to withdraw to myself, and my solution was just to be quiet or just to lower my personality and just become less vocal about things. And so I remember a few years in, I felt like part of me was dying. I felt like part of me was not allowed to live. And I think that contributed little bit by little bit to like a semi-depression that I experienced a few years into Korea, especially because we didn't have a community here. It was just really hard to find a family-like community like we had back in Sydney, back home. Literally, it was just me and Oppa at home all the time, and it was just work. So I think like mentally, I was in a space that was like so different, as also physically too. So different from what I grew up with, and I was doing my best to really adapt into the culture. So yeah, this is definitely something that was really big in the first few years of being in Korea, but it's still carried on till now. I just learned how to deal with it better, and I'm still picking things up. But because my vocabulary in Korean, I understand things, but wording it in a very wise way is a huge skill. I always have to get like Oppa to double check what I send to any Korean written team where all the communication is in written form, because every single word, or even like the fact that you say something, is a humongous statement. So in Korea, there are management groups for beauty influencers. One of my most significant ones in my head was when I first moved to Korea. There was like a big management group for K-beauty or just beauty influencers in general in Korea. They were trying to do what they do for celebrity talents, but for the beauty influencer industry. There were 2 big ones at the time. There was another rival management group. This was one, and it was a new concept management group in terms of they did a lot of things together. So we would have like meetings, a lot of events together with the other influencers, and they provided a lot of things like a team of people for each person. There was a lot of work involved, and that was when I was the most active on YouTube. If you guys like go back on my videos, there was a time when I really did full-on weekly videos constantly, and they all had Korean subtitles on them. Some of the videos were very produced. It all looks fine and dandy, but to be really honest with you guys, that was the most stressful time of my YouTube life. Not only was I having to work with a Korean team for the first time, not understanding yet how Koreans communicate, and so I'm figuring that out. I'm also having to try and fit in with the Korean influencers here. They were all younger people than me. They were all newer to YouTube than me, but I still felt like definitely an outsider to them, because you know, I'm like the person that is from overseas and I speak English. She's just a foreigner, you know. And I didn't realize that in Asia, people are very groupy with their friends. That was not the kind of place that I came from in Australia. I was, for some reason, always around people who were really open, and we were never groupie. Always just like open to new people. Doesn't matter where you're from or whatnot, you just welcome. There was a lot of things that I'd never been exposed to in my life. I'd never been exposed to girl dramas before. Like my high school was totally drama free. It was like a nerd school. Everyone was just focused on studying. So I didn't experience anything that might be quite normal in like girls' schools, but for some reason I had been sheltered from it. So there was a lot of things that I was going through. Dynamics of getting along with groupie girls, trying to get along with Koreans in terms of miscommunication. Even though those videos were like super produced, it looks like someone else is just taking care of it, but no. Even more work went into those videos than my own videos where I would just edit them myself. I would have to write out everything that I wanted edited into it. Every single little motion graphic, this is so detailed information for you guys, but I'm just sharing with you guys. Every single like little motion graphic that you might have seen, even like a little effect or a subtitle, I had to write everything out for every single video every week after filming and after doing all of the other things. And that was in Korean too. It was the most taxing time physically, mentally, emotionally, and also spiritually, because we didn't find our own churchness that we really felt like we belonged to here in Korea. It was definitely the time when my channel was the most popular. It had the most momentum. I had the most views per video, but there was definitely a sacrifice behind the scenes, and to me that was not worth it. And so after a few years of that, if you guys remember, I launched my Muse beauty brushes, which I worked on for 2 years. But at that time, it was like the climax. All the hardships that I was going through, the new life that I was getting accustomed to, like growing and building up and building up. And then when I hit that moment when I finally launched my brushes after blood, sweat and tears, it was a really surreal moment. But then when that moment hit, just seeing the whole show, the whole glitz and glam, launching my brushes, when it was all done and dusted, I knew that it was all going to be empty anyway. But what really got to me was moments of revelation and realization that everything is so fake. I would see people who are behind the scene, completely different person, not just online. I'd meet people who on TV are very famous and well known, but as soon as the camera's off, on camera, they'll be really nice to me. As soon as the camera's off, they'll be the most nasty person. Yeah, so like without sharing like the detailed stories, this is just like a build-up of hundreds of these kind of moments where it's like I came home, I'm like holding my head like, how can it be like this? Going to beauty events as well, like overseas, where it looks so glamorous. I'm like seeing people like Song Hye-kyo on stage. Just like everything is like so different from how it's portrayed on camera. I don't know, one day I do really want to finally be able to have a podcast, but I'm not sure if I can at the moment because of Leo. I'd love to have a podcast or something where I can really share these kind of moments with you guys. But yeah, so just to sum it up, that's how I felt. If you guys did feel along the way that I kind of like lost it and you're wondering what it was, I lost my energy or passion or something, it was a moment of absolute like, why am I doing this kind of thing? I'm not here for the money, I'm not here for the fame. I wasn't like desperate to make videos to continue to garner views and stuff. What I'm trying to say is I think I found myself in a place where everything was meaningless and I couldn't find a good enough purpose to be doing it anymore. When I first started my YouTube channel, I actually did it because I really wanted to share good things with people and I wanted people to benefit from my videos. Other girls behind the phones or even guys to feel any kind of sense of comfort or that I'm there, I'm thinking of you guys, I want to help you, just feeling like you're cared for. But even that purpose, I found a few years ago that I was losing that because about 5 years ago, as I said, when all those things were building up, another thing that really, this is not me now, I'm talking about 5 years ago, guys. I found myself feeling like a sense of loss of purpose in that aspect as well, because I could see how the mainstream like audience was so fickle and they were so easily deceived by things that are fake. I think I felt kind of sad that people can't really see the truth and they don't know how to recognize like real good quality, things that are done out of like a genuine motive. So yeah, I pretty much just felt quite discouraged at a certain point where I felt like even the people that I was making it for at the end of the day, which was my last like reason for making videos was not who I thought they were. But like obviously like mainstream audience is very quick, they have a really short attention span and they just want to eat like yummy bite-sized pieces of junk food. Those kind of things, they really jaded me when I was still in my 20s, and as I said, I was going through a lot of things. So that's kind of what I went through a couple of years ago. That's when I started to feel like not as motivated to make these beauty videos anymore. It was like too shallow. I was thinking maybe I need to go into journalism or something that like does investigation of truths and things. But I think I was pretty much just overwhelmed with a lot of things. You know, if you just meet a lot of people and if you work in the media industry, you're going to go through a lot of things and you're going to get burnt. And my view of like this perfect world that I envisioned, a really nice world of nice people, was basically just shattered, and I was going through like mid-20s crisis or something like that. I'm really like playing it down, but yeah, I really did go through a lot of things that if you guys got to know the details of, I'm pretty sure you would also be kind of like shocked as well. But like God took me through it all, He brought me through it all. I was still praying and asking God constantly, do I still stay in this industry? Do you still want me to make beauty videos? Is it even helping anybody? You know, that was the kind of dilemma that I was holding on to constantly and praying about. And as I said, once I launched my own brand, although it was just like my first line of products, just the fact that I had launched it and I'd gotten there and I'd done all these different things, I just felt this sense of meaninglessness and purposelessness to it, in terms of it's not really making the difference that I wanted it to make in the world, difference in people's lives, really. So yeah, I don't know why I'm sharing that aspect of things, but I wanted to just paint the picture of like my first, I don't know, maybe 4 years of life in Korea. so that it makes sense to you why Jen might have changed here and there. After that, there was actually a time when I was really MIA on YouTube for a really long time, and I came back and I wasn't able to really share with you guys what I'd gone through. So I'm not sure if you guys actually caught that, but during that time, William and I, to be honest, we went through a really difficult time in our marriage, and it was like the hardest time that I've ever been through in my life. And I don't want to like burden you guys with the details of it. It wasn't what you're thinking though. It was really a very unique situation. To be honest, when I'm looking back, it's a very spiritual reason, so it's really hard to actually explain. I don't think this is the video for it, right? But I did want to share that that's what it was, and we made it through, and it was like one of those things where you really feel grateful for it, because even though it was the hardest thing that you might have ever been through, you know that you came out as a different person, and you know that it happened for a reason that was good for you in the end. Now we are doing the best that we've ever had. I do want to stress that was a really long time ago though, so you don't have to be worried about us. I just am updating you guys kind of like a timeline of things that happened. Now, after having Leo, things have been amazing, and guys, to be honest, it's the happiest that I've ever been in my life, and same with William. We never knew that having a child can bring you so much joy. Like, it's a joy and happiness that you've never experienced. And I think you guys know, but we were also considering not even having kids. We were always like, maybe next year, but we were never fussed about having kids. But after having Leo, I felt like, why did I delay? Why did I ever doubt having kids? Because this is the most joy, deepest love that I've ever felt in my life. I would have missed out on this. And I can't believe it's already been 15 months now since I've had a baby. Motherhood is definitely a crazy different journey to be on, and I would actually recommend it to everybody. If you're like me and you're thinking like you never want to have kids, the world looks like it's going to end soon, like why would you want to bring kids into this world? I think that's a huge lie, because there is nothing that can compare with having a baby. There's nothing that can compare with the beauty of a new life. It's kind of like crazy. You don't know what it is until you go through it. But yeah, of course guys, motherhood was a completely different level of difficulty. I'm still really actually finding it difficult working while I'm a mom. I'm acting like it's all fine and stuff because I post like highlights on my Instagram and stuff, and it may look like it's a breeze, but honestly it's almost a miracle that I am able to work. It's really, really full-time thing, and I want to give a huge shout out to all working mothers out there, especially to those who have children who are very bonded to you and very connected. If you breastfeed, you would also know, but like your baby's super bonded to you. They don't want to be away from you for a single second. Even in their sleep, they are aware that you're not around them. It hasn't been easy, guys. I'm telling you guys, even now it's not easy, but I'm so happy being a mother. And I realized that a few years back when I felt that burnout. I think I felt burnout because I was longing for a really deep, meaningful thing to live for, and I found that in motherhood. Leo brought a sense of purpose to my life that I never knew I was missing. And so yeah, you might have noticed that even though I might have changed a little bit physically and how many videos I make for you guys, I'm actually much happier now. I'm not sure if you guys are getting that vibe from me. I feel so happy, I feel so fulfilled, I feel so content, and I feel like now with a baby, I could not have anything else. I could let go of my meejmuse, YouTube, I could just be a full-time mom and be happy and content and satisfied and like so happy to do this. But yeah, so that's the kind of place that I'm in right now. Motherhood has been crazy because my body still doesn't feel the same, and to be honest, I'm not used to it still. Sometimes I find myself like touching my bone here and I'm like, I swear these bones didn't used to be here. My pelvis has really stretched out, my ribs have expanded, I lost a lot of hair. Having to hold Leo constantly, my shoulders, which were already quite broad, have gotten even broader, and my arms have gotten musclier, so my arms don't look the way that they used to. And even though it's been like 15 months, I'm not used to it, because the Jen that I knew, my body, my whole life for over 30 years, that's a lot longer than this short period of time that I've had to get used to my new body. So that's one aspect of motherhood that was a nice little surprise, I guess. But yeah, Jenny's happy right now. I'm happy. It is time for the beauty announcements. So there's two things that I need to announce. One is that I've actually been filming with Style Korean's channel, which is Beauty Cookie here on YouTube. It's the first time that I've actually agreed to collaborate and come out as like a regular feature on their channel. And the reason why I've decided to do this is in the past, I felt like I don't have time to do it. I don't even have time to do my own channel properly, let alone another channel. But becoming a mom has made me a lot more a different perspective of things. And I realized that if I am really doing this for the sake of K-beauty, I really care about people. You know, I want people to be able to get good information, to buy good products, to know what's good, what's bad, what's hyped, what's fake. You guys know I hate fake things. I just don't like fakeness at all. And so if I see any brand that's got hype or fakeness to it, I want to step in and kind of like shed the light that, guys, you might be wasting a little bit of money here and you might be able to find something better here. But being like a one-man show is pretty hard as a mom, as you guys know. And I have a lot of aspirations for content that is something that's beyond what I could do on my own. At Beauty Cookie, there's a whole team, there's a production team where they help me to basically just create the content that I've always wanted to do, make it come to life. So although I am basically directing it, I'm behind the creativity of it, I'm coming up with the ideas, I'm directing what's happening. I have a team who is going to help me edit it and prepare it, put all the information together, do all the things that I've always wanted to do, but as I said, requires a team. So I thought it'd be good if I could combine my ideas of a content that is needed in this K-beauty space. You guys saw my previous videos where I did like huge cushions video, ultimate guide video and stuff, where I go through like 100 cushions, sum it up for you guys, give you guys a rundown and summary of the best ones and everything, review them, test them, etc. Okay, so that one video took me like months to do. I wanted to do something like that, but for each different category of K-beauty. So I know a lot of you guys are really into Korean beauty products. All of you guys are, basically. But you don't have one place that really organizes all the information, that's trustworthy, that really like sums it up for you guys. And I wanted to create content that does that. So there are two series. First one's called Whatta Noob, and the second one is called Top 10. So basically, Whatta Noob is the one where with my friend JP, we're gonna gather the top beauty products in each category based on what's most popular in Korea, what's the best selling according to Olive Young, and also Glowpic and Hwahae, which are two really famous beauty apps here in Korea, as well as my own personal ones that I don't find on those lists that I think need to go in there. And we come up with the criteria list together with you guys and basically do the testing for you guys. Best ingredients, best texture, etc. And then for longevity and the actual test during the day, I take home the shortlisted products, I test them out for like 2 weeks, and then choose my final top 10 out of them all. So basically you can think of it as I'm scouring out of the entire K-beauty market, because there's just too many products to go through for you guys to do on your own, right? We're doing that with the capacity that we have, the information that we have, non-sponsored, coming up with the final top 10. And it's like totally unbiased, honest reviews. I'm trying to make something that's just most helpful to you guys, and you can actually take that and use it in your buying purchase decisions so that you don't waste your money. I really care about you guys not wasting money on like bad overhyped products or something, or even like finding some star products that are not known at all. That's the kind of motive with which I'm doing this content. I'm not going to be editing them, although I am sort of giving a lot of input, but because the team is not working for me, I don't actually have the full say in I'd like to have it edited exactly this way. So I'm sorry in advance if you guys go and watch it and the vibe is a little different, or like it's a little briefer than you wish it would be. If you have any feedback at all, please leave them in the comments of those videos, because I'm making it for you guys. I'm only doing it for the sake of making good content, just doing my best with what I can do. So yeah, it'll be much more helpful if you guys share what you'd like from those videos, how to improve them, and the team will listen to me a little bit more if a lot of you guys share the same kind of thing. We're gonna have them going up weekly, so do subscribe if you want to Beauty Cookie. They are my friends friend's channel for Kim 사장님 over at Style Korean, who's been really good to me through the years. We've been friends for a long time, sharing like a lot of things. Through him that I've come across a lot of Korean brands as well and learned a lot of behind the scenes things. He helped with our Muse Beauty brushes packaging by connecting us through to the Hamish brand, which was also a very small brand back then, but the designer at Hamish helped us to put together the design of our boxes for Muse Beauty. So that's something exciting that I've been working on. So if you do want to go check it out, I'll leave the link for you down below. So even though I haven't been putting up a lot of content for my own channel, I've been working on the content for their channel. Okay, and finally guys, for my actual exciting announcement. Oh my gosh guys, I'm so excited to share this with you guys. William and I have been working on a website that basically sells any kind of Korean products that I love personally. This is so exciting because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. The basic idea that what I recommend, you guys can actually access it straight away. Ever since like I first moved to Korea, or even before, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, it was like an idea that came to me very naturally as I made videos that, man, I feel like I'm almost torturing you guys if I talk about products but you guys can't access it. You know what I'm talking about? I know that now K-beauty is a lot more accessible. There's a lot of websites out there that do stock it, but there are also other Korean products that just are not available overseas. It doesn't have to be Korean beauty products, it could be baby products, it could be fashion items or accessories that I like, even lifestyle products that I think that the world should have access to. So anyway, this opportunity came to us. It wasn't something that we were seeking. We didn't even think about it recently. It just came, literally just came to us. And the way that it happened is actually really funny. It's such a God thing because literally like I just stayed in contact with someone who I met on one of our Streets of Salt episodes as a street interviewee, and it's the only person that I actually stayed in contact with all these years from all of my street interview videos. Who knew that this person would end up growing up and becoming like a business person? And basically things came together, and it's going to be called curatedbyjen.com. Something that I was pondering for a while. I wasn't sure what to name it. I was thinking, should I put like the word soul in it or Korea in it? But in the end, I decided Curated by Jen because it's basically everything that I have chosen, that I love, that I recommend, that you guys can just access straight away. That's the whole concept of it. So might as well just call it Curated by Jen. Even like Korean brands for maybe baby wear and baby carriers and things that have no exposure to the overseas market at all, but their products are like amazing. Maybe they don't even know how to cross over to the global audience, so we're gonna basically bridge it for them. So it's a lot of work behind the scenes because literally I'm like writing a list of things that I just love, that I've been loving through the years, that I've been recently loving, or anything that I want you guys to be able to access. I'm writing the brands down, and my business partners and I, we just contacted the brands. Some of the brands I have like relationships with obviously through the years, so it's kind of easier, but some brands are completely cold call, so it just really depends on whether they will actually be able to come on board with us. But that's the exciting news. Without any of the excitement, like I haven't had time to do an official announcement video or anything, but I just was so excited. I wanted to let you guys know that's what I've been working on behind the scenes. But yeah, obviously we're going to start off small and kind of grow our portfolio and hopefully be able to really offer you guys a wide variety of things that are good. So I hope you guys are excited about this as much as I am. We're hoping to have it up by Christmas. Okay, so that is the exciting news, guys. I'm like genuinely excited. It's a new little baby that I'm growing that I hope also brings you guys joy, convenience, and allows you to enjoy really good things from Korea that you felt like you were missing out on. And hopefully if you go to the site in the future, it will be something that you guys can basically get a glimpse of just everything that I'm loving at that moment. Anyways, that is a really quick breakdown, long breakdown. I've been filming for like 2 hours now. This is meant to be done in like 20 minutes. An update on how I've been in Korea, what I've been going through, the things that I've been working on recently, and the things that are coming up. So I hope you guys are like excited about it too. Do stay tuned for curatedbyjen.com. Spread the news to your friends who are also part of the Muse fam that there is going to be a website that really stocks all of Jen's favorite products. And just in case I might have missed or forgotten something, please do let me know in the comments comments below if there's anything that you really want to get your hands on in Korea that you find are like too expensive on other sites, or it's not available at all. If there's something that you've been like keeping an eye on and you really wish that you could get in your country, please let me know in the comments below. And also, with your experience with buying K-beauty online, is there anything that you would wish for it to have, or things to consider to have a really good website, shipping, things like that? But yeah, this is gonna be a new journey with you guys, and if I'm missing for a little bit, you guys know what I'm working on behind the scenes: Beauty Cookie and Curated by Jen. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me. I hope that you guys are doing well as well. Please feel free to share with me anything that you've been going through, or if anything that I've shared in this video struck a chord with you and you want to share it as well. Do feel free to leave it in the comments. And again, I really appreciate every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for your loyalty, your sincerity, your true friendship with me and with Oppa, being patient with us through the years, through all of our changes, ups and downs, and my hiatuses as well. Thank you guys so much, really, and really from the bottom of my heart. Whatever I'm doing, even more so after becoming a mom and like having my values change a little bit, everything I do, I want to do it to really benefit you guys somehow, so that your lives are somehow left better. So I hope you guys get that feeling from whatever I do, whether it's my own content, whether it's content on someone else's channel, or whether it's my own like website, Curated by Jen. Stay beautiful inside and out, stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget how precious, unique, beautiful, talented, and wonderful you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and don't believe any other lie apart from it. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye everyone, 다음에 또 봐요.